Sheriff Todd Baxter, employees of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. District Attorney Sandra, Doorley, employees of the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. Alex Renzi, New York State Supreme Court. Paul C. Melcher, James Shirley Jr. in Pennsylvania Court. My name is Chris Rochester. I live in Rochester, New York. I've been in an innocent man in jail 6 times. Monroe County Jail, Rochester, New York. Livingston County Jail, Geneseo, New York. One names on prosecutors have delivered me to these 2 jails without uttering one word in court. This document here arrived in the District Attorney's Office, the Sheriff's Office, the United States Attorney for the Western District of New York, Trinity Ross, Alex Renzi, New York State Supreme Court, Paul C. Melcher, James Shirley Jr. in Pennsylvania Court. July 20th, 2023. This is addressed to Perry Duckles, Deputy District Attorney, Mark Monahan, Assistant District Attorney at 47 South 50th Street, Rochester, New York. The language. I'm communicating with you on this YouTube page. Mail the names of my prosecutor signs to the address listed below on Park Avenue, Rochester, New York. Attached are Freedom of Information documents dated July 20, 2023 with this language. Quote, documentation for the case for Christopher Rochester in Pennsylvania Court for John P. Menzel Jr. was named the prosecutor. Sandra Doorley. Quote, documentation for the case for Christopher Rochester in Pennsylvania Court for Paul C. Melcher was named the prosecutor. Sandra Doorley. Quote, documentation for the case for Christopher Rochester in New York State Supreme Court for Alex Renzi was named the prosecutor. Sandra Doorley. You will refuse to disclose the names of these prosecutors assigned to concoct a criminal charges. He's responsible for fiction and lies that deposited me in jail 6 times. You know the names of these hacks, sociopaths, and freaks. How is a citizen in jail anywhere in the state of New York? One prosecutor doesn't talk to court. 2 links here: rejection for Perry Duckles and Mark Monahan, unconstitutional. Sheriff Todd Baxter, Sandra Doorley, Alex Renzi. I'll tell you what will happen to me. Psychopath sink at the sheriff's office. I'm just bald-headed, beating Mussolini clone. Todd K. Baxter will drive up to me when I'm walking in Monroe County. I'll be taken to a corrupt judge. I'll be declared guilty of the latest fiction and lies. I'll languish in jail while I'm not told a sentence. I don't have civil and constitutional rights. I don't have due process because your boss, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, is a criminal. I was exactly right about that. So that's July 20th, 2023. It's in the District Attorney's Office. July 19th. Attached are 3 Freedom of Information Law documents dated July 19, 2023. 1. The quote, documentation for the case for charges in Pennsylvania Court for John P. Menzel Jr. was named the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley, unquote. 2. Quote, documentation for the case for charges in Pennsylvania Court for Paul C. Melcher was named the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley. Quote. 3. Quote, the documentation for the case for charges in New York State Supreme Court for Alex Renzi was named the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley, unquote. I've demanded you disclose the names of my prosecutor's silence on YouTube for 18 months, which includes, and there are 3 links here: unconstitutional, Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, Judge Alex Renzi, YouTube disclosure 4113-918-94 Perry Duckles of Monroe County District Attorney's Office, YouTube perjurer 73312 Michael C. Houlihan of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, YouTube matrix on Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, Judge Alex Renzi. You will continue to refuse to disclose the names of my prosecutor's silence because you're corrupt. Sign. That's exactly right. That's July 19th. July 18th. Comply with 3 Freedom of Information Law documents dated July 18, 2023. The language. 1. The documentation of the case for Christopher charges in Pennsylvania Court for John P. Menzel Jr. was named the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley. 2. Quote, documentation for the case for Christopher charges in Pennsylvania Menzel was named the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley. Quote. 3. Quote, the documentation for the case for Christopher charges in the New York State Supreme Court for Alex Renzi was named the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley. End quote. YouTube, and it's unconstitutional. Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, Judge Alex Renzi. You hate the human condition. You're a criminal. Resign. July 16th. YouTube, unconstitutional. On Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, Judge Alex Renzi. Your officers will receive a criminal complaint from me in the next 7 days about 80-year-old Antonio Spano, Fairport, New York, locking me out of my residence in Penn, New York without a court order. He will not be arrested because of his age. Your officers will receive a criminal complaint from me in the next 7 days about an A-Rod job, Penn, New York, false reporting criminal like this, walked to a parking lot 4,000 times. He will not be arrested because you Kool-Aid drinkers can't identify a crime. Your officers will receive a criminal complaint from me in the next 7 days about 75904 Rich J. Seaton violently assaulting me at the Penn Public Library. He will not be arrested or fired because he's a Monroe County Sheriff's Office employee. Comply with 3 attached PDF Freedom of Information Law documents dated July 16th, 2023. Mail the names of prosecutor's silence. The address below, District Attorney Doorley. You will continue to refuse to disclose the names of your prosecutor's silence assigned to my court appearances because you're corrupt. It is insane for any citizen to be in jail when a prosecutor doesn't make an argument in court. I've been in jail 6 times. 6 times the district attorney has not talked before John P. Menzel Jr. in Pennsylvania Court in New York State Court. Total silence convicts me. What is the name of the freaking sociopath the district attorney's office to force me to balance Renzi? You freaks and sociopaths at the district attorney's office will continue to convict innocent citizens in Penn Court for $28,000 policy Metzler and $34,000 James Young Jr. Why? Because you hate the human condition and you're unable to identify innocence. There's no jury 12 in that disgusting room. There's no witness box or witness testimony. There's no table for a prosecutor, defense attorney, public defender. This little room is a joke, and you debase yourselves groveling for these two geriatric hags from hell. You must redirect defendants away from Penn Court and innocent citizens with civil and constitutional rights. I don't have civil and constitutional rights. I don't exist in this American citizen. You received this email attached for the registered mail return receipt this week. Resign. July 15th, 2023. Todd Baxter, Sheriff, 130 South Plymouth Avenue, Rochester, New York. Your violent psychopath employee, 75904 Richard J. Stevens, stalked me into the Penn Public Library. I stood up at the computer terminal. Seaman ran at me, slammed his arm to the side of my head. I fell backwards. My head hit the surrounding top floor. This violence is irrelevant to you. You embrace violence because your fellow psychopath and criminal will not be fired. When I write a criminal complaint, I'll lay details of this assault by Stephen. He will not be arrested or prosecuted. Nothing will happen to your taxpayer-subsidized sociopath that must undergo an immediate mental health examination. He will attack other innocent citizens. Did you order Stephen to stalk me into the library? Were you informed about his disgusting predatory behavior? Did you have no knowledge about his fanaticism? You refused to answer. Resign. Christopher Chichester, copy to the United States Attorney who was District Attorney Ross, District Attorney Sandra, Doorley, Public Defender Julie Siaka, Assistant Public Defender Mark Phillips, Judge Alex Renzi, First Assistant Attorney Perry Duckles, Judge Paul C. Metzler, Penn Court, Judge James Young Jr., Penn Court. July 13th. You have violated my civil and constitutional rights when prosecutor Sandra will continue to refuse to disclose these names of freaks and sociopaths that report to you attached to 3 Freedom of Information and all documents dated July 13, 2023, this language. 1. Documentation of the case of Christopher Chichester, the Penn Court for John P. Lenzer Jr. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? 2. The documentation of the case of Christopher Chichester, the Penn Court for Paul C. Metzler. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? 3. The documentation of the case of Christopher Chichester, New York State Supreme Court for Alex Renzi. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? I've been in jail as an innocent man 6 times. 6 times a fanatical, corrupt, degenerate prosecuting officer did not talk in court. There was not one sentence, one word, one syllable from these freaks and sociopaths you employ. How am I in jail when a prosecutor didn't talk in court? Did you force me to Alex Renzi, or was it a different freak and sociopath? Disclose the names of my prosecutor Sandra will continue to refuse. A quorum is a taxpayer-subsidized public proceeding. When I'm forced into a quorum, it's because of your disgusting existence. It's because you hate the human condition. It's because you're a criminal. Attaches documentation I've sent to your office from registered mail return receipt United Postal Service Federal Express for 18 plus months. I've demanded using legally binding documentation that you disclose the names of my prosecutor Sandra. You have refused and created silence. I acquired your payroll using the FOIL, and that is how I know you're corrupt. First, the district attorney, Perry Douglas, paid $113,918.94. He has repeatedly refused to disclose the names of my prosecutor Sandra. You are the darkest human condition. Innocence is irrelevant to you. You only believe in power, and you have the power to destroy lives. That's what you've done to my life. We're owned up and possessed nothing in a little apartment in New York. Hell exists for you. Christopher Chichester, my address in Park Avenue. This is a copy to United States Attorney who was District Trinity Ross, Todd Baxter, Julie Siaka, Mark Phillips, Alex Renzi, Perry Duckles, Judge Paul C. Metzler, and James Young Jr. Doesn't matter if Todd Baxter, Sandra Doorley, or Richard J. Seaman violently attacked me at the Penn Public Library. I had yet to write the criminal complaint about him. I don't know you, director of the local courts, Elizabeth Buckley. The reason why I cite your name more than the others is because you're the director of local courts and I've been in a local court. But I read your biography, which is impressive. So, Elizabeth Buckley, what would you think if a human being close to you in your life, husband, wife, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, grandmother, grandfather, stood up in a computer terminal at a library, and a psychopath cop ran at your friend or family member and slammed his arm into the side of the head of your friend or family member, and your friend or family member hit the floor with the head of your friend or family member slamming against the floor? What would you think about that happening to someone in your life? Does it matter? It should. Which is Richard J. Seaman, who did exactly what I just said to me, has not been arrested, has not been prosecuted, has not been jailed, and all 3 of those things should happen to him. I'm violently attacked by Richard J. Seaman. Nothing's happened to him. I'm in jail. Elizabeth Buckley, director of the local courts, for walking outside here, standing right here where I used to live at 26 Sandra from Drive, say nobody owns that land to Steve Debs on Brock Tree and Lawn Care, and walking back in my residence. Do you recognize what this is? Director of the local courts, Elizabeth Buckley, because it's obvious that this is a double standard of justice. Todd Baxter's violent sociopaths can do whatever they want in Monroe County. And the reason why Todd Baxter's violent sociopaths can do whatever they want in Monroe County is Sheriff Todd Baxter's a violent sociopath. So, I've written the criminal complaint in July about this Nayraj shot. Can you just falsely report anything you want in Monroe County? And then the Monroe County Sheriff's Office is going to ignore it? Because they're ignoring him. People walk through his parking lot all day long, Elizabeth Buckley. You, Elizabeth Buckley, you can leave wherever you are in Monroe County, walk through this parking lot. Nayraj Shah is going to, if he's outside, look right at you. He's not going to the Sheriff's Office about you. You can walk through this parking lot every single day if you live in Penfield, Elizabeth Buckley. And he can look at you every single day. And he's not going to the Sheriff's Office. It's only me. And it's not a crime to walk through this parking lot. Because if Dr. Gloria Nichols was still my dentist where this freak is, who lives with his mother at 2033 Penfield Road, I wouldn't spend one day in jail. Dr. Gloria Nichols moving her dental practice from this building right here, further down Penfield Road, is why I've been in jail 6 times. Because Shannon Meyer now knows my identity, and the other freaks and psychopaths at the Sheriff's Office, like Don Benedetto, Michael Huan, Andrew Reale, Leah Rowe, all concoct crimes for me. So, now, on this February 11th, this is the Freedom of Information Law. Periodicals Mark Monahan, Elizabeth Buckley, Michelle Crowley of the District Attorney's Office, $140,000 Julie Sianka, and $87,000 Mark Phillips of the Public Defender's Office. You know these names. It is the lunatic fringe to refuse to disclose the name of a prosecutor assigned to the appearance of a defendant in a courtroom anywhere in the state of New York, anywhere in the United States of America. And Sandra Doorley hasn't done this refusal once, twice, 10 times, 50 times. It's easily over 100 times. It could be over 200 times. I have to count how many times I've written it for, which is right here. Again, on this February 11th. It's going to arrive in the early morning hours, Sunday. So, who is it? Those 6 names I just mentioned, Perry Uckles, Mark Monahan, Liz Buckley, Michelle Crowley, Julie Sacramore, folks, you all know. When I say you all know, you can go to the administrative person in respective offices, just have them send it to me, the email on here. So, documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester, where John P. Jr. in Pentown Court was named the prosecutor, District Attorney Sandra Doorley. The freaking sociopath is right here. Who is it? Is that Julie Hahn? Or is that not Julie Hahn? Because it's a female. Freedom of Information Law. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester, where Paul C. Messer in Pentown Court was named the prosecutor, District Attorney Sandra Doorley. The freaking sociopath boy is right here. I know what he looks like. What's his name? He sent me to Livingston County Jail, Genesee, where I'm living. He didn't utter one word. Because the prosecutor never talked to court for me. Freedom of Information Law. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester, Alex Renzi, New York State Supreme Court was named the prosecutor, District Attorney Sandra Doorley. The freaking sociopath is right here. This is the payroll for the District Attorney's Office. Who is it? Perry Uckles, Mark Monahan, Liz Buckley, Michelle Crowley, Judy Sianka, Mark Phillips. Tell me what it is. 130 North Wint Road, Box 10651, Rochester, New York, 146010. And you'll refuse. Lunatic fringe. This is why you freaks. That's why I use this word. I'm in court. It's a taxpayer-subsidized building, room, facility, star chamber. A taxpayer-subsidized psychopath that's an assistant district attorney has sent me to jail, which is a taxpayer-subsidized facility. Who is it? Just Doesn't matter if you freaks and sociopaths. February 11th. Understand how this works? That I'm exercising my First Amendment right? Freedom of Information Law. Right there. The fourth one I need to read on this February 11th. Defective doctors for the case of Dan Glaus III in Penfield Court for John P. Metzer Jr. sentenced me $28,000 bald-headed widow freak, Paul C. Metzer, and you $34,000 James P. Jr. So those four you got today. Those four you also got on February 9th. Disclosure names of prosecutor's silence, defective doctors, Dan Glaus III. And you also received it on this February 7th right here. February 7th, February 9th, February 11th. Who is it? And I'm going to print these out. I'm going to send it to all these names I'm mentioning. Registered mail return receipt. And Mark Phillips and Julie Sianka are going to send these envelopes back to me, even though they know the names of my prosecutors. So, you, Mark Phillips, because you and I have talked. I've never talked to your boss, Julie Sianka. Can you walk through this parking lot in Penfield, New York without being arrested? Why is that? Because you're a different kind of American than me, Mark. Are you watching me now at the 16 minutes mark? Do you think it's the lunatic fringe for this neighborhood shot his 50-year-old freak Elizabeth 7-year-old mother to go to the sheriff's office by me walking through his parking lot, but not the elderly woman across the street who tells me she's been walking through his parking lot for 5 years just like me? Not my excellent friend Adam who lived next to me? Not Penfield High School students in a red athletic about, all of whom he sees? It's only me. Does the 14th Amendment apply to me, Mark, or not, regarding this parking lot? Because if I was to leave where I live on Park Avenue in Rochester, New York right now, and go into Penfield, which I have done, because I'm a runner. I have run from Rochester into Penfield and back. If I was to run from Rochester into Penfield and then just walk through this parking lot down Penfield Road and this freak named Rochester sees me, I'll be arrested. Because I'm a different kind of American than anybody else in Monroe County. So, do you want a dog, Mark Phillips? Here's my little guy here. Adopted from Lollipop Farm Humane Society. He was with me for 8 years. My then girlfriend, Laura Ryan, we lived in Webster and went to Lollipop. This is why this matters. When Laura and I went to Lollipop, they don't just give a dog to anybody. And as tens of millions of Americans know, anybody who abuses a dog should burn in hell. Laura and I, when we went to Lollipop, we were asked the critical question, have you ever been arrested? I'm 47 years old in 2012, and I said no. And I can remember thinking, that's ludicrous and laughable. It's not ludicrous and laughable anymore. The reason why I was able to adopt him with Laura Riley, my then girlfriend who I live with, is I passed any type of background check they did on us. I'll not pass another background check. I cannot go back to Lollipop and be approved, even though I will try. And when I say I cannot go back to Lollipop and leave with a dog that I have adopted that I hope will be with me for another 10 years. This is all because, or beginning with, this freak cop, Shannon Meyer, of the sheriff's office, who was paid $67,000 when she wrote this ludicrous warrant for my arrest, Mark. And now she's paid $83,000. You know what this means, Mark Phillips, graduate of SUNY Fredonia? Is that Sheriff Todd Baxter thinks I'm New York's 4,000-time criminal. Because if there's a warrant for my arrest for walking through that parking lot, I've walked through it 4,000 times. It just doesn't matter, this freak. So, now, employees of the sheriff's office and district attorney's office. What I'm saying about this freak cop, this is the warrant right here. Mark Phillips and Julie Sianka, the public defender's office, and Perry Duckles, Mark Mine, and Liz Buck and Michelle Crowley. This is why people hate the police. This name rush job begins to scream at me, goes to the sheriff's office, I have to talk to Meyer. This is what gets me in Monroe County Jail, where I don't have equal protection laws. This is it right here. 6 time ago, it's a little gray here. This is it. Warrant advice she wrote. Shah cited information stating he wants 8 Chichester arrested for being on his property again today. The sickness of this free cop on his property. This is concrete. Language requires precision and definition and meaning. This is not property. Am I being perfectly clear? Mark and Julie and Perry and Elizabeth and Michelle. Do you understand what I'm talking about? I'm talking about fanaticism and hatred and extremism. So this is the one advised by this freak cop, Shannon Meyer, which I have to update. This is undated here. So I have read this whole thing repeatedly where I would read each sentence, and Todd Baxter has seen this, and he gave her a raise anyway because he's a freak cop. That's why. The sheriff from Monroe County can identify a criminal act, and then his employees that can't identify a criminal act, he promotes and gives raises to. So upon my arrival, I spoke with V. Shah, who stated H.I. Chester was on his property again today, even though he was informed that he was allowed to be here. I'm only going to read that once. This is the only sentence I'm going to read this because I could possibly throw up if I have to read this whole thing again. In that one sentence is a number of lies. Upon my arrival, I spoke with V. Shah. V for victim. Nayraj Shah of Pemfield, New York, 2033 Pemfield Road, is a V for victim because I walked through his parking lot. Upon my arrival, I spoke with A. Shah, who stated that A. Chichester was on his property. A, what is A? On his property. This is not property. It's concrete. When I bought my house in the Albany, New York suburb of Guilderland, my realtor, Gloria, gave me a document that proved that I owned the land on a cul-de-sac in Guilderland, New York, which is on the Schenectady County line. That's property where I lived in his home for 5 years before I moved to Washington, D.C. This is not property. Concrete that's a parking lot is not property. The way property is defined for homeowners. She's just using this word because she just wants to be a dramatic idiot. So, upon my arrival, I spoke with V. Shah, stated 8 Chichester was on his property today, even though he's been informed that he's not allowed to be there. Another lie. I was not informed by anyone at any point. Ever. This freak cop, Shannon Meyer of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, is drenched in lies. And since freak cop Todd Baxter of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office is drenched in lies, it's perfectly acceptable for this freak cop to smash me into a million little pieces for walking through his parking lot, where she tells Steve Desmond and Brock Tree and Lawn Care to ride his tractor by my residence to get me to come outside, and she's using civilians. Mark Phillips, can the police use civilians in law enforcement operations? I've said this repeatedly now. I don't think I've written this down. But when I write this down and I ask Todd Baxter, or if I ask Attorney General Lisa James or the Office of Governor Kathy Hochul or the Department of Justice, where Kristen Smith is Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, I'd like to know what the answer would be. Can law enforcement use civilians? Because what happened is that Meyer called Steve Desmond, Brock Tree and Lawn Care and said, ride your tractor by his residence. So when I looked out the window, because I just got done with my run, here comes Broccolo on his tractor right here. Desmond's in his parking lot, got his phone here. Meyer's waiting for his phone call. They're trying to get me to come out of the house, and I'm not committing a crime by saying nobody owns the land and walk back in my residence. And I'm on the video when my right arm is moving. A camera on this building at 2032. Right here, I've showed this repeatedly. That's how I know my right arm is weak. The camera's on the building right there. I'm not going to go into detail about that again. I'll talk another 10 minutes about that. So, this is falsely reporting innocent, for which he has not been arrested. Because Todd Baxter loves freaks like this Nayraj Shah going to the sheriff's office about nothing. The nothingness of life is this Nayraj shot this freak who lives with his mother. So, the criminal complaints have arrived repeatedly in the office for Sheriff Todd Baxter and District Attorney Sandra Doorley. And you know what? It just doesn't matter to Sheriff Todd Baxter and District Attorney Sandra Doorley that these individuals are all criminals, including violent psychopath Richard Seaman. Attached 4 criminal claims with this language. That Richard J. Seaman, the Miami County Sheriff's Office, walked into the Pembroke Public Library in Pembroke, New York, ran Christopher Charges, slammed his arm to the head of Charges, caused him to fall backwards, hit his head on Tramontown 4, 2. Then Roger Landon Kumar shot down 2033 Pemfield Road, 14526, false report of Christopher Charges, performing 26 Sanders Farm Drive, and walked into a park on Express Residence. 3. Antonio Spano, Fairport, New York, locked the front and back doors of residence 26 Sanders Farm Drive without a court order. 4. Laura Rye Webster, New York, transported the personal belongings of Christopher Charges for Sanders Farm Drive storage locker, Webster, New York, without a court order. I'll repeat things because corruption requires repetition. This is me swearing that Richard J. Seaman violently attacked me. Why hasn't he been arrested? Prosecuted and jailed. This is me saying that Nayraj Shah and his mother falsely reported this incident as a crime when it's not a crime. It's not a crime to walk to that park lot. Nayraj Shah, Landon Kumar shot 2033 Pemfield Road, Pemfield York, 14526, false reported incident. Christopher Charges, formerly 26 Sanders from Drive, and walked to a park lot. Why isn't he getting arrested, prosecuted, and jailed? Because you don't know what a crime is. That's why. So, Antonio Spano, Fairport, New York, locked the front and back doors at the residence 26 Sanders from Drive, Pemfield York, Route 4. Why isn't he get arrested? Prosecuted and jailed because you don't know what a crime is. Laura Riley Webster, New York, transported the personal belongings of Christopher Charges from 26 Sanders from Drive, Pemfield, New York, to storage locker, Webster, New York, Route 4. Why should she get arrested, prosecuted, and jailed? Because you don't know what a crime is. That's why. I sign my name to every single one of them. Every single one of those criminal complaints has my name right here saying that these are crimes that you ignore. A sheriff that ignores crimes and concocts crimes for innocent citizens, Todd Baxter, just like this freak Michael Houlihan. I'm not going to read that again because I only have so much time today, and there are times where I could feel it. I think I could throw up when I have to say all your names. And I sent a photograph of this parking lot here to Lisa O'Monaco, the Deputy Attorney General. She signed for that. Lisa O'Monaco can look at this photograph here and the documentation I include where I said that Todd Baxter sent to 6 fanatics because Shannon Meyer's not alone. It's her and 5 other fanatics to my residence because I told a man undistracted nobody owns the land. That's my right. So Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco will be able to see that, and Lisa Monaco will also be able to look at this here. This photograph is why you're fanatic. This photograph is extremist. This photograph is why you're a liar. This photograph is why I know you're $67,000 disgusting act. Shannon Meyers. This photograph is why people hate the police. I'd like to know if Lisa Monaco, the Department of Justice, when she looks at this and the supporting documentation I sent her, if she's going to conclude and agree with my sense, this is why people hate the police. I really would like to know if she would agree with that. And when the man comes by my residence, he's wearing these earmuffs because the tractor's so loud. What you're doing is criminalizing quality of life situation for me. If they weren't there for the first 7 years I lived in Pemfield, where I moved from Webster, my then girlfriend Laura Riley, then what are they doing there suddenly? I don't know all the answers to that or the answer to that. But this is what he's wearing on his head, this old man. Because the tractor's so loud. When I would mow the grass in Queens, New York in the late 1970s for my grandmother and grandfather, they had a push mower that there I would be 10, 12 years old, pushing this thing on this small plot of land in South Ozone Park, Queens. These gigantic tractors are a disgrace. And when I say you're criminalizing a quality of life situation for me, I can understand if people would disagree with that. But when they're at 7 o'clock in the morning, I hadn't been there before, and they're also riding the tractor up onto my front lawn when they turn around, and they're doing other things too. This is just a repulsive racket, this Broccolo tree lawn care. You're criminalizing a quality of life situation for me when I haven't committed any crime. So, I guarantee if one of these gigantic tractors is at your residence, Elizabeth Buckley, Perry Knuckles, Mark Monahan, Michelle Crowley, at 7 o'clock in the morning, you're going to have problems with that. Because my neighbors did too. My neighbors were going to walk through that parking lot without being arrested. So, this doesn't matter to you. This freak district attorney has no money, but she sent it to me, her financial disclosure. The freak sheriff didn't send me anything. Because he's corrupt. That's why. Julie Hahn, my prosecutor, not. You know who knows the answer to is Julie Hahn my prosecutor or not? Julie Hahn knows. And so do you, Julie Siaka, Mark Phillips, Perry Duckers, Mark Monahan, Liz Buck, Michelle Crowley. Julie Hahn, August 29, 2023. Julie M. Hahn, Broward County Court, 99 Exchange Boulevard, Rochester, New York, 14614. Are you the prosecutor unable to talk in Pemberton Town Court for my appearance before $34,000 John P. Lorenzo Jr. as I'm delivered to Monroe County Jail? The 50-plus attachments include language I've used for 18 months, demanding the names of my prosecutor from your former boss, District Attorney Sandra Doorley. This nightmare for the citizens of Monroe County is refused every single time down the law, and that fact is why she's corrupt. No citizen should ever be deposited in jail or prosecuted in talk court. I've been inmate in Monroe County Jail, Livingston County Jail, total 6 times prosecuted in talk court. That's insane. So then I have here names, hideous, averse, heinous. Every single time using freedom of information law on these 4 links here, telling you to disclose names on prosecutors. I'm on TikTok here, this app, corrupt at Perry Knuckles. I'm not just calling you corrupt because I want to be dramatic and hysterical. You know the names of my prosecutors, Deputy District Attorney Sandra Doorley, Deputy District Attorney Perry Knuckles, who works for District Attorney Sandra Doorley, and you're refusing every single time. Including when I email you directly and contact you directly, it just doesn't matter to you. That I'm telling you to disclose the names of freaks and psychopaths and sociopaths and degenerates who should be disbarred from practice law. Todd, Baxter, Sandra Doorley, get this document repeatedly. January 26, fanaticism, perjury, violence, rejection, accountability. I have been on YouTube where I just talk about one of these freaks from the sheriff's office. Like this whole time on YouTube, I'm talking about 73312 Michael C. Houlihan. This whole time on YouTube, I'm talking about 75904 Richard Seidman. Michael Houlihan will lie under oath again in a grand jury because psychopath cops like him don't change. Richard J. Seidman will attack another innocent citizen because psychopath cops like him don't change. So it's because of psychopath cops like Richard J. Seidman and Michael Houlihan that I have to go to the Goodwill to buy clothes, which I just recently held these up. Goodwill, there's 6 in here. I don't have my rings anymore. I wear a ring on this finger to think about my uncle, Thomas Valentine Hennessy, of Staten Island, New York, who died in 1991, who took me to alcohol in Belmont and taught me how to bet, read the daily racing form. All my rings that I had, ring like this, 10 plus rings are all gone. Because of Anthony Ospano, because everything's gone. All my watches are gone. When I was a United States Senate employee, United States House of Representative employee, I bought a watch. Because of my employment. Because I wanted to think about it for years afterwards. This is a $10 watch from Walmart. All my rings are gone. All my watches are gone. All my clothes are gone. My bed's gone. My couch is gone. My dress greens from 17 Cavalry 101st Airborne Division are gone. My BA from the State University of New York at Stony Brook is gone. My 1,000+ books are gone. And when I go to Christopher Price at the Monroe branch of the Rochester Public Library, because he's a notary there, I'm going to have to fill out a document that looks just like this document right here, listing everything I don't have. Because I'm going to have some type of civil representation I've been thinking about for a significant period of time for this old man, who has not been arrested, even though he's a criminal. Everything is gone because this old man and my ex-girlfriend, Laura Riley, 2 people decided that I was going to be evicted, and 2 people decided I was going to have nothing. Because they're the nothingness of life. Just like you're the nothingness of life at the sheriff's office and district attorney's office, where you hate the human condition and you exist in a delusional 1984. My name is Christopher Chichester. I live in Rochester, New York. I've been an innocent man my whole life.